Hi guys. Okay, we are in week 14. This is actually going to kind of be a little bit of a chill week, simply because we're a little bit behind in data collection. Um, the positive of that is it gives you time to focus on the two chapters we're covering. We usually cover one chapter each week. This week we're going to be covering both chapters 10 and 11. Okay, you want to make sure you read through those chapters thoroughly, review the slides, review the supplemental interactives, videos, documents, etc. Also gives you some time to focus on your inquisitives. If you want to start working on some that are due later as well, that's a good idea. This is a week to try to kind of get ahead. Um, as much as you can. Also continue working on your research participation. This was assigned last week, but this is basically you guys just participating in the studies that our other Psych 2 classes um, are conducting, and that is an assignment in this class. If you do not do that, there is an alternative research assignment that's also in last week's module. You have to do one or the other in terms of your grade for the class. But please, this is really the priority. As you can tell, we need research participants. Please be those participants for your fellow IVC classmates. The one thing that is new this week is Lab 9 is now available. Obviously, we don't have any data to analyze yet, but I wanted to just kind of walk you through that really quickly. There is a chance that I will send your data to you sometime this week. And if I do, then you can start working on it. There's no need to wait until Thursday or Friday if we have enough participants, if we have enough data. And a couple of you guys, a couple of your groups are pretty close. So I'm going to keep an eye on the numbers over the next couple of days. And as soon as I feel like your survey has reached a point where, okay, you've got enough participants, then I'm going to shoot your data over to you. All right. Some of you might take a little bit longer, but even if it does take until next week, we should still have enough time to be able to analyze data. I'm going to help you guys with this and get the rest of your paper written. Okay, so data analysis. This is Lab 9. This isn't really a part of your paper. This is just the data analysis for your paper. So you can write your results section, and also so you can go back and update your methods section. And then move on to your discussion. This is, again, a group assignment. Only one member of your group needs to submit this assignment, but you should all be working on this together. Once we do have data collected, we are at the point where we can start analyzing. Because we use Qualtrics, we don't actually have to input our data. That is one of the beautiful things about Qualtrics, is that when you download your data, you can download it directly into an Excel CSV file, which we then just go to JASP and open up, and there it is. All of our data is available and ready for us to analyze. Once you do receive your data, you want to run your descriptive statistics. So remember, we did this in Lab 5. So go back to Lab 5 and rewatch that video if you have to, or review that lab to see how to run a mean, how to run a frequency distribution. You want to run frequency distributions for any demographic. So if some of you included more demographics, please make sure that you're running a frequency distribution for them, and give me your results for that specific variable. When you're done with your descriptive stats, this is when you go back to the method section. So whoever was responsible for that, whoever the lead was on that, needs to go back and insert the right numbers so that it's appropriately ready for submission with your final paper. Okay. So at this point, you guys have submitted everything that you will with regards to your paper until you submit your final paper. So there's nothing else to submit until you submit your final paper, but do go back and edit that. so that it's ready for your final submission. And then we need to do the stats for our primary hypothesis. So this is where it's going to get a little bit tricky. Most of you are just going to be running a t-test for independent samples. Double check with me though. And I will probably, when I send your Excel file, I'll probably tell you this is the stat that you want to run, and these are the variables that you want to be running them on. Some of you had groups um, that were based on seeing a picture or reading a scenario, and that's how we manipulated the variable. Others are manipulating variables based on certain amounts of time that, certain things were done. So the way we organize our data for that is going to be a little bit different, okay? But in the end, you are all running t-tests, okay? So once you have that clarification from me and know what it is that you're supposed to be running these t-tests on, then you need to see if you have significance, okay? So for number 7, you're going to write your statistical sentence, and remember, if the significant two-tailed is less than 0.05, then it is significant. Okay, so go back to lab 8. This was what we did in lab 8. Go back to lab 8 and double check what your level of significance is, how to write that sentence. That's all there in lab 8. And then tell me, did your data support your primary hypothesis? Okay. All right. So this is to be submitted as a Word document or a PDF file, and you just submit it to this page. And then after you have submitted this lab, you're ready to start working on your results section. Again, your results section is not due until your final paper, but you should start working on it so that you can then start working on your discussion. All right. So I know it feels like we have a long time. A lot of you are like, oh, we still have a whole month left. But don't procrastinate on this, because remember, we still have our poster that you have to do. I'll be explaining that probably next week. That's kind of the last thing you want to do, because it's just really plugging in your highlights of your study into a poster format. But you still are responsible for that, and you still have your inquisitive assignments, and you still have a final exam. So as soon as I get that data to you, please make sure that you're getting started on this and moving forward. I'm also probably going to set up group meetings with you all next week, most likely. I was planning to this week, but again, we don't have any data, so there's not really any point to do that. Once we have data, I'm going to set up group meetings with you, and then if you have any questions about your data analysis, we can address them in those meetings. I'll probably set up one more group meeting the following week or the week after to just kind of touch base with you and see how you're all doing. Of course, in the meantime, if any of you guys want to meet with me, I'm here, I'm available, I'm more than happy to help out, okay? So that is, let's go back to our assignments. That's pretty much it. That's all we have really going on for week 14. If you have any questions or concerns, reach out to me. Otherwise, have a fantastic week. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.